What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk to you about ProText Mobility, ticker is TXTM. Highly anticipated financials did come out, so I want to talk about what that is, what that means for us as investors, and just a good picture of where TXTM/ProText is currently sitting. Before I get into any of that, making sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe is always greatly appreciated. With that though, let's get right to it. So based on Twitter, there was a beautiful tweet that did come out from Dylan saying Q2 2022 filing posted with OTC markets, anticipate back to current status shortly. So in general, the financials look fairly good. It did validate a couple big things that ProText has been stating, such as that they did actually have no dilution and that they're debt free. So the financials are very solid and does coincide with exactly that. So I think bigger picture though, people now need to take a step back and realize that basically everything so far that ProText management have said is going to come has actually come. And I think a little bit more investors are skeptical because OTC stocks, generally speaking, promise a lot but offer nothing. But when it comes to ProText, they've actually given investors a hell of a lot to actually grasp onto and justification to actually invest. So based on all of this information, when this did come out, it went up roughly about 50%, give or take, has retraced a little bit. Obviously, there's a lot of fear out in the market right now. Volume is dropping a little bit, so that's something you just need to factor in, but I think that's coinciding with a lot of other OTC stocks. So in the grand scheme of things, so I think this is a golden opportunity to add. Keep in mind, I am not a financial advisor, so do your own due diligence at the end of the day. But I personally think based on all the tweets and even Instagram posts out there, clearly they are working extremely hard, diligently to kind of give investors justification and reasoning to invest in ProText. So I think in reality, it's a long-term investment. We all know that typically over-the-counter stocks are that, very long-term investments, and this is no different. So at the end though, I think there still is a lot of positive things that could come out of in the short-term future or possibly within a year, give or take, and that is this. So on the RSA website, which on a side note was another one of those big catalysts that they did actually come through and offer. And again, I have always focused on this aspect quite frequently because when it comes to OTC stocks, they typically don't have a website. You usually just get this random page that does pop up and it just says to enter your email. It's very sketchy, very vague, so this is very professional. But as you can see right here, second acquisition and third acquisition. So they're definitely giving a nice little teasers out there for possibly something to come down the future. And again, when it comes into perspective, RSA has been in talks with ProText, I believe for around 2 years, if not a little bit more, since 2020, give or take. So I think in the end though, there might be a second and possible third acquisition in the future, depending on what comes from all this. Obviously, right now, there is a ton of fear out in the market. This is why we are down a little bit today, and it is largely linked to because of China manufacturing data, and obviously is a little bit more of a domino effect at that stage on how they're thinking macro around the world. But still, when it comes down to ProText though, they're such a niche actual market, and they do have so much future opportunity to distribute all their products worldwide. I think this isn't that big of a deal as far as the China or other external news. So this is why when you are investing, especially on down days, you should take advantage. Like I said, this is just for entertainment purposes, and in the end, I hope you are entertained by all this. But with that, just want to look at some technicals because I'm a very big technicals fan. So looking on the actual chart, we are still higher percent of the Bollinger Band, which in general is a very good sign. Once we do break below that, that's when things start to change a little bit, but we right now are trading between that central Bollinger Band and the 50-day moving average. So we're kind of in a good wedge until we either get a good catalyst to bring us up or vice versa, just the market continues to be negative, then we kind of get dragged down a little bit. So then at that stage, we'll most likely hit that 200-day moving average. And looking at momentum, you can tell a number of retail investors have been, for the most part, maintaining themselves. They did get in largely because of the financial news, because like I've been saying, that is actually a very big deal for over-the-counter stocks. That's just one step in the right direction to becoming pink current, and then eventually down the future, in the future, whatever it is, to be coming and listed on the NASDAQ. So it's just a beautiful domino effect, and so far everything is playing out to what ProText management have been saying. Looking at stochastic though, it is a little bit overbought, still a little bit more of a deviation, so black line above the red, showing the underlying stock wants to have a bullish sentiment behind it. So again, a little bit more conflicting information there, a little bit more fear in the broader market, but no matter what, ProText is a long-term investment, so you just need to see it as that, not so much as a short swing. So with all that, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Greatly appreciate that. I know I didn't necessarily get so much into the actual financials. There is still a lot of good things to be said in this, so I highly recommend you researching that. But ultimately, it does say that there's and validates everything that I already mentioned, such as no debt and so forth. So, but regardless of all that, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, and I greatly appreciate that. Let's all make a lot of money on ProText.